Hi, my name is Caitlin, and today we're going to be looking at the Black Mirror episode, The Entire History of You. So, for a little background, if you haven't seen the episode, this Black Mirror world, basically, almost everyone has this little chip in their brain, goes behind their ear, that records everything that you see and all your memories that you can then go back and replay. Main character, Liam, it's already predetermined in the beginning of the episode that he kind of has an addictive personality when it comes to replaying his memories and overthinking interactions he has. We're going to be looking at the final scene where Liam is basically walking through his house alone. His wife is gone, she's left, and he's just replaying happy memories of the past. And the scene ends with him finally cutting his chip out, and then the episode ends. This scene is specifically really interesting because of the dichotomy between his memories that he's replaying and what's actually happening in real life. The memories he's playing are very bright and warm-toned and have a very happy feeling, and they're very centered around his wife, which he misses. But then it's contrasted with the present, where it's very cool-toned, very dark, and he's by himself, and it's very melancholy feeling, and the music in the background is very suspenseful and kind of intimidating almost, and really plays into that dichotomy. And so it conveys to the viewer a feeling of sorrow, and you can really feel his distraught tunnel vision throughout that. So the scene opens with an establishing shot of the house, and it then pans inside. We hear birds chirping in the background, and we see Liam's wife and his little baby, and they're just having a normal morning, and it feels very normal. It's very warm-toned, and it feels like, oh, nothing is wrong, nothing's happened. And it's very cheerful and comforting. And we're hit with the reality of what's actually going on when the next direct cut shows Liam in the same room, except this time he's laying on the bed by himself. There's no more art on the walls. The stark white bed sheets are very bright. The room is dark. Everything feels very cold, and he's by himself. And so that kind of sets the stage for what the rest of the scene is going to be, because it's just going to continue that same warm feeling and then cold contrast. So in the next shot, Liam is walking down the hall, and this is from his point of view. He's walking into the hall, and you pan into the kitchen, and it's clean, it's beautiful. It's morning time, and so the golden sunlight is pouring in. It's very bright, it's very warm-toned, and you see his wife sitting at the kitchen table enjoying her breakfast. It cuts in to an extreme close-up of just his wife's face, and she takes up the whole screen. She's just smiling at him with the golden sunshine everywhere. She takes up the entirety of the shot, symbolizing that she was the center of Liam's life, basically. The golden atmosphere sets up a almost romanticized version of his memories of the past, and then it's immediately cut with a pan of what the kitchen actually looks like, and there's empty beer bottles everywhere. It's very messy. There's glasses of liquor everywhere, and Liam it's just a kind of close-up of his face, and he's very sad looking, and there's blue tones everywhere. It's very dark in the kitchen. There's little to no natural light that's coming in like there was before, and it feels a lot more lonely and sad, because we saw he was so happy with his wife there, and now he's alone, and it's immediately so different. This scene is followed by another direct cut, which shows Liam's wife walking up the stairs, and he just keeps replaying it over and over again, and she's walking up the stairs and laughing and giggling, and it's very warm-toned. It's evening time, we can tell by the lighting because it's a little darker, but there's still the orange tones in it. There's still yellow lighting. It's still very warm and comfortable feeling. Again, he keeps zooming in on her, again to signify that she was the center of his life. It then cuts to the present, where this time, instead of just a shot of Liam or of the room he's in, it's a little different. There's a shot of Liam, and it's again very cool toned, very dark. It's nighttime, or it's just cloudy outside. There's not a lot of light. This shot is from through the staircase, And so there's like a little bit of blur in the front, and you're going through the holes in the staircase to look at him, and it's from like a tilted, different, weird angle, and it feels distorted to look at, and that symbolizes his own distorted thoughts and feelings. As for the music, it starts out in the kitchen scene that we talked about before. It just starts with like these two notes going back and forth very slowly, and it feels very sad and empty. It adds to the warm, like happy memories. It just makes them feel that much more distant and far away, like he's longing for them that much more because they're deeper, like sad notes. But then it's still playing over the like harsh reality, the cold toned shots, and it just makes them feel that much more lonely and cold and empty. Then during the staircase scene, there's the dun, 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 like a minor scale playing that kind of resembles spiraling, and his cyclical thinking, he's just in his head too much, and that paired with the crooked through the staircase shot shows that like this is getting to his head, and it makes the viewer feel very confused and a little scared too. After that, the track is expanded upon a little bit more, and there's more instruments playing, there's a lot more layers, and that's when there's another scene of another memory of him and his wife like getting ready in the morning together, and then it's shot, he's just in the bathroom staring at himself in the mirror alone, and the music is then playing in higher octaves and feels like it's building up to something, and it feels very climactic. It's getting a little bit higher, but still slowly. It's still going very slowly. At this point in the scene, he's cutting his chip out, or he's starting to, and when the blood starts like trickling into the sink, there's a beat that starts in the song that almost feels like a heartbeat. And the music keeps just like building and building slowly, and then abruptly stops because he's pulled his chip out, and then the episode ends. And it feels very unresolved. As humans, we want to hear music come to an end and have a conclusion, but this doesn't. It just stops. So that's kind of a metaphor for Liam and his life as well. The abrupt ending to the song and the show is an abrupt ending to Liam as well. He's physically taken out his memories of like the traumatic thing happening to him. There's no real closure in this, and so the viewer feels very uneasy and unfulfilled as well. So yeah, this episode is super interesting in the way that it projects the feelings of the main character onto the viewer so well through the use of these like color schemes and also the intriguing music. Through this entire ending scene, we see how fixated Liam is on his failed marriage and replaying it over and over in his head, and it projects the same form of tunnel vision onto the viewer, and it's really interesting to get to see a character's downfall like that.